Museveni is going to swear in through Zoom.
Be in this revolution because Museveni knows more than all of us that it's time for change. And everything he's trying to do is not going to stick.
Pay attention to details gwe atasobodde ate kubanga ogenda eKololo kubanga bino byo byonkuletedde byamakulu nnyo aba NUP bo beetwana oba bagamba nti Museveni tagenda ate kubanga alayira okulayira kigambibwa mbu kwandibanga kugenda ate kubanga kwa online ku Zoom subscribinga gwetanaba kusubscribinga eyo comment ku mukutu okola kyamaanyi video jimpere like ate nga ku speed eyamangu nnyo ebenga etambulira ddala etuke ku buli omu eyandeetazo okumanya kuno information inaddala mona nkyukakyuka oba omuwagizi wa His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi aba NUP bongedde okulaga obutali bumativu kwotadde n'okulaga nti President Museveni tagenda ate kubanga alayira byonna byonna byenkuleetedde biki byeboogera ate ku kulayira kwa mukulu President Museveni ebyo nno byenkuleetedde sagala ate kubanga nkulisa wabula katusimbulirewo ate obeewulirireko koko ate mu comment section obeeko nekyoyogera endowooza yo kintu kikulu nnyo naddala mu kuzimba channel eno kwotadde n'okuzza ate Uganda mu maaso nolwekyo katusimbulirewo.
Museveni is going to swear in through Zoom. And they use artificial intelligence to depict a picture of Janet so that it seems she is still alive. Well, look, I agree that it's possible that Janet Museveni is dead, but for the rest, this is pure fantasy. And it's very unfortunate that the beautiful Acholi language is used to spread fake news. I really appreciate that we have more Acholi, we have more native languages. Yes, it's very good to go and inform your people in your native language, but stop spreading fake news.
Feels like he may need to swear on Zoom, okay? There'll be a big screen in Kololo without Museveni's physical presence. He'll do it from his state house or whatever, in the bedroom or whatever, wherever he can be. And also maybe in the process, they can mechanically make something or person to look like Janet, mold it like they do in movies. They can make any character, They can try to posture somebody like Janet beside him. Or they can use old videos that were recorded of both of them and put a stream, cut and paste, AI and all of that, and have like a Janet figure by him. Be in this revolution because Museveni knows more than all of us that it's time for change. And everything he's trying to do is not going to stick. Benedict, yes. He has fooled Ugandans for a very, very long time. Since 1980, Museveni has influenced elections in Uganda. Since 1980. As I mentioned, when Obote came into power, when he helped Obote win, he knew that Obote is a weakling. He knew his weaknesses because he was in his government. Had he had a Muganda win in 1980, Museveni would have no words to tell the Baganda about how bad Obote is. It would be very difficult for Museveni to convince the Baganda that he's the savior, which right now, as he plans a transition to give his son the next leadership, you hear a lot about PLU. Muhoozi is coming out and speaking about PLU. That is part of their transition plan. But it is forceful and will not take shape. It will not. So Uganda is right where it should be. I have a few security alerts that I could not go to bed tonight without letting you know. So I'm going to go through them so that we can be aware, take caution, and be
Jeno Muhozi, Jonzite. Nkwegayiridde taata n'obuwombeefu CDF w'eggwanga nkusaba kunzita. Sikyogera mu lulimi lukuvoola naye gwe kennyini wagamba wakatta abantu 24 bw'onfuula owa 25 mba nkuyiseeko nnyo muzeeyi. Wallahi Mungu obulamu nze bunkaluubiridde ensingi gw'oye. Sisobola kuweerera mwana wange tasoma, sisobola kulabirira maama wange, nze kennyini neeremereddwa, wallahi neekyaye ndi ku levo yeetuga. Naye nkibalamu oleka ekikoli mu kukika. Njagala onzite busi muzeeyi, CDF w'eggwanga. Taata obulamu buganye, nkusaba onzite. Ate mmwe ab'eŋŋanda abakona ab'emikwano, mulinde kalambo kammwe saagala kunnyanukula. Nze kennyini nze neesabidde omusajja nzite. Enjala gye nnumira temubaayo. Naye mbeegayiridde Jeno Muhozi, bambi temuntulugunya. Mukole ng'eddiini y'Obusiraamu bwegamba kika. Ate temunsiba, nalwala dde endwadde zange buli mwezi ŋŋenda Mmengo. Temunsiba mukole bukozi kika. Ekyo kiggwe. Ate mmwe aba social media naddala baganda bange aba NUP, omusajja wamala okunzita. Saagalayo kigambo kyonna, nze mwesabidde. Obulamu buganye, nkaluubiriddwa ne nabeera ku nsi ng'asiina kyanga mbonaabona era nja kufa. Jeno Muhozi taata, nkwegayiridde CDF, nkusaba kunzita mponye ensi eno, ne bwe ndiba magombe nja kukwebaza.
There's no doubt that Bobi Wine is going to be sworn in as president of Uganda, but it is up to us to make sure that it happens sooner rather than later. So let me give you an example of some of the things we can do, which sounds rather simple but effective. So right after the elections, the BBC came out with a couple of nonsensical articles. In one article, they said Bobi Wine said the elections were rigged and that he won the elections. And they said Bobi Wine did not provide any evidence. This is the BBC. And so I tweeted and I said, wait, you're asking Bobi Wine to provide evidence that he won when Museveni has not provided any evidence that he won? Where are the DR forms? How come the results are not posted as you pointed out, Nico? How come the results are not posted on the website?
Yes, you're totally right. And sorry to interject here, but I think it's important to note that both in 2021 and in 2026, I did a survey. And in 2021, my scientific survey conclusion was that 63% of the people in that survey willing to talk to me supported Bobi Wine. And in 2026, that had even increased to 65.1%. That's why you see in my profile picture on TikTok, that 65.1%.
Absolutely. And it makes sense, Nico, it makes sense because first of all, as you know, Uganda is a country whose population is 85% under the age of 35. Why would they vote for somebody who's possibly 90 years old? If they were going to vote for him, why did they not show up to his campaign rallies? Why were they showing up to Bobi Wine's campaign rallies? Bobi Wine was not offering money for them. It was Museveni who was offering money and food and even busing people, giving them transport, yet they never showed up. So the people who showed up to Bobi Wine's campaign rallies, on election day, they went and and voted for Museveni. What kind of nonsense is that? You see?
Yes. So, by the way, so again, moderators, we definitely need you because the troll farms of Museveni have found our life and they are spreading their fake information in our comment section. Please, my dear friends, also feel welcome to screen record parts of this TikTok live and share with me because the interaction is very nice for publication. Please also, comrades, don't forget to follow Milton Alamadi. And I'm going to have one little demand, Milton. I request you to post a little bit more often on TikTok.
kukyendabye leero kukyendabye eKololo leero abantu bonna bangi Jeno Muhoozi yalitwala obwa pulezidenti Jeno Muhoozi abantu bangi nnyo wano eKololo Jeno Muhoozi amaze okutwala obwa pulezidenti bwa Uganda
omusajja agwawo Bless mukubye laba ggwe abantu
amaze okutwala obwa pulezidenti bwa Uganda
Omuntu bw'agamba nti mwami Museveni tagenda kulayira aba mutuufu. Kati leero tuyige enjawulo wakati w'okulayira n'okwerayiza. Kati kino mwami Museveni kyali mu kukola oba kyagenda okukola ali mu kwerayiza. Agenda kukwata abamukkirizaamu okuva e Mengo bakitaffe mu nkwaba abanaddiini ne kabinenti yo muli baminisita b'NRM wamu ne bagenerozi be batunga emimwa abatoogera n'akulira electoral commission byabakama beerayize. Era omuntu wagamba mutagenda layira mutuufu. Temuddamu kugamba bantu musimanga propaganda w'NRM. Tukimanyi bulungi omuntu eyawangula akalulu 2026 nga 15 Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Bannayuganda gwe baakola ki gwe baalonda era ye yawangula ne 2021. Kati kino mwami Museveni kyagenda okukola bakiyita kwerayiza. Nenze ngamba bantu mmwe mubbidde emyaka 45 n'okusoba. Kino sikiri mwandisasudde bannayuganda. Uganda mwandibadde obuyinza bwa ne mubuta mu ddembe muli bagagga. Okay? Ne babaleka ne mubeera mirembe. Ne muta abantu be mwasiba mbyobufuzi abantu be mu amataka g'abantu ge mubbye ne mubaddiza ebintu byabwe okubasasulamu kwegamba muli mukadde kammwe obaako okufa. Kati ate nammwe abawuza simanga Kyagulanyi talina kiddako ekyo nakyo mukisalewo. Kyagulanyi ekiddako akirina. Mmwe bannayuganda mmwe abandyekubye mu mutima ne mwebuuza tuzzaako ki? Kyagulanyi mugagga muvundu si Uganda si wa mugagga muvundu era temujja laba baana be nga bali mbutale simanga bayimba taxi ababoda be bagobye nedda. Mmwe abalina okwebuuza tuzzaako ki? Nze sirina kye mubanja oyo omusajja sirina. Adda afiirira ffe bantu ba wansi naye naffe tetwefuddeeko. Era waakomerawo bw'ati byabagamba mbwadda mwina mubeera ku mugongo wagamba mbu tusonge wano teri kudda mabega ekyo mbe nga mukimanyi. Naye mulekerawo buuza mbu Kyagulanyi azzaako ki? Sima paati seeriwa ebyo mmwe mubyebuuze mu mutima nga mmwe. Kyagulanyi abaana be tebagenda bonaabona si bazzukulu naye mwennyini ng'omuntu ne waba tazze Uganda. Kati mulekerawo okwesiriwaza. Okay?
Kati nze Museveni nkugambye gezaako weerayize naye making sure bw'oba weerayiza Maama Janet mujjeeyo gy'omukwese. Museveni bw'oba weerayiza Maama Janet muleete. Oba onaamuleeta ali ki? Oba onaamuleeta ayavula? Oba onaamuleeta akola ki? Naye bw'otagezaako kuleeta Maama Janet oyina kyogenda okujustifyinga ate nkikakasa togenda kumuleeta. Mpozi bw'onaamuleeta ojja kuba oleese amufaanana naye jjukira tumumanyi ye bw'afaanana. Tusobola omudescribing okuva eno wansi ku bigere kubanga tumumanyi ebigere bye n'amagulu gwe bwe gwakula paka ku mutwe gwe.
Somebody posted said, what does a Muzungu know about Uganda? The commander of Umkhonto Wesizwe in South Africa, the military commander was a Mzungu. You see? Joe Slovo, right? Whose parents moved to South Africa. I forget, I think it was maybe from Lithuania. And he grew up then in South Africa. And he identified with the struggle for justice and joined the ANC and became commander of the military wing, which is Umkhonto Wesizwe. So that's a nonsense posting. It doesn't matter. And that's what I'm saying. In a struggle like this, all you have to do is be committed, be anti-dictatorship. Even people that are in the NRM, I'm not kidding. the ones that want to help us liberate Uganda. Join us and work with us. I posted my email address. Send me information that you think might be able to help us, and we will use it. Military dictator, corrupt, kleptocrat, torturer, massacre, mass murder, all these should come into play. Election rigging, genocide, vote stealing. Well, talking points resonate, particularly for people who are not really very well informed about the issues. And of course, we as Ugandans, we are not only preaching to the choir, but we want to grow our friends, our community of supporters, right? So if an American who is hearing things about Uganda and wants to find out more and maybe even support the cause, if they come there and they hear you referring to Museveni as president, now that's a bit confusing, right? Okay, he's president. Maybe you disagree with some of his policies. Is that the issue? But because you disagree with some policies, does that legitimize your cause to remove him? Because you left an opening. But if you refer to him as a military dictator, every American knows the difference between a military dictator and a president. That's why the talking points are very critical.